Hi, I'm Tony Croff. Welcome to CareerTech Conversations. We're in the studio today to discuss a credential system for students and educators. We refer to that as digital badging, but before we get into the nuts and bolts of what badging is, I want to introduce our guest, Jennifer Palacio, who is the assessment manager for the CareerTech Testing Center, which is a department within our agency. Jennifer, thanks so much for being with us today. Tell us how long you've been at the agency. Tell us about your role at the agency and more broadly, the role of the testing center.
Well, I am the assessment manager for the CareerTech Testing Center. As you said, I've been here 20 years, so I've been here quite a while, always in the testing division. I've been the manager for right around 6 years now. And so our testing center is unique in the fact that we have a lot of different outlets in which we help serve Oklahoma. We do end of instruction competency testing for CareerTech programs. We also help other agencies do their licensure testing. So we partner with 15 different agencies to do that for them. And then we also take our competency tests that we use here in Oklahoma and help other states answer that need in their states when they don't have a system of their own.
So just because I'm curious, does some of that testing happen on site here at the agency and then others at tech centers and things like that?
Well, our competency testing is done through the technology centers, high schools, even in the prison systems and our skill center programs. Our licensure testing actually takes place through our test centers that are located in the technology centers. And then we also have an online proctoring solution for some of those agencies that wanted that option for their candidates.
I've only been at the agency a couple years, so you said 20. I've been here a tenth of your time, so I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of everything that goes on here. Seems like I'm learning something new every day, with each assignment that I'm put on. I want to kind of go back a little bit, and for the completely uninitiated, what is digital badging? Because we spoke privately about this, and I found out it's not just a graphic that goes on a resume to look good or whatever. Can you get into what it is?
Yeah. Well, a digital badge is it is a graphic that is a digital representation of an achievement. In many cases, that may be a certification that someone has earned. Other places use it for different things to recognize years of service, professional development, all of those things. But within that image is embedded a large amount of data. That type of data can be, you tag different skills that were required to earn whatever it's representing. You can show what had to be accomplished in order to get that particular certification. And it helps kind of provide a list of those things that you had to know in order to achieve whatever it's representing.
It's sort of like code that's embedded in it, or like a hyperlink.
Well, when
you can
click the badge, it's a live thing, so that when you click that, you go to that information through the badging platform, and then within that platform, you can link to other information that's useful for whoever is wanting to review it.
What's an example of a CareerTech program that is currently utilizing badging? We talked previously to this interview about how, although this is a thing that your department offers, it's not used by everyone currently. So who is using it?
Well, we offer badges pretty much across the gamut of all the different CareerTech programs that are out there. Now, we don't issue a badge for every single thing that is on our approved assessment list, because there are some vendors who do their own badging, and a lot of them use the same platform that we do. But for those that do not, we want to try to recognize and capture that for students and provide them something that they can utilize when they go out to, try to get a career or, interviews or internships, whatever it may be. And so basically we have something across every area. Since we started in school year 22-23, and so far we've issued right around 27,200 badges.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned yesterday when we spoke about a system called CTIMS. Can you define that for our viewers and listeners and talk a little bit about what that is?
Well, CTIMS is related to our whole information management system. So that's where everything that CareerTech wants to capture data-wise is stored. And within that, there is the instructional framework, which outlines what a program looks like, what it's comprised of, and then also what type of certification that a potential person might earn that's in that program. And then that system is also utilized for follow-up, and that's where schools come back and say, okay, students took this program, here's what they earned at the end of it. And so we utilize that follow-up data to help fuel our badges.
There used to be somewhat of an information delay of things kind of getting updated in the system, and therefore a student who's now applying for jobs being able to access and show their badging or their credentials. But you said the badging through Credly is more instant. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, historically, the way that CareerTech has captured that follow-up data has been 6 months after the school year is over. What we're trying to do is we've instituted what we call the real-time collection within that same system that allows instructors or whoever reports that information for their specific institution to go in and do that real time. And what that allows us to do is pull reports and issue those badges real time versus waiting that 6 months after the school year is done.
I'm sure students, when they get out, they're kind of probably chomping at the bit, and now that their educational pathway may be completed or close to complete, they're trying to get that job. And so that's super helpful that the work that you guys are doing in the background to make sure they have instant use of that. Talk a little bit about expansion to possibly being able to offer this more widely or to inform more people about it.
Well, I mean, our goal is to try to get more people to utilize it, because the whole reason why CareerTech started the initiative was to provide something that would be valuable to the students that are coming out of our CareerTech programs. But one of our struggles is getting people to realize they can do it real time and to get that information, and also trying to figure out how they can build that into their local processes and make it where it's not something that's a burden, but they can still do it for the students. So one of our big initiatives moving forward is going to be trying to help those entities that are utilizing it figure out how can we build this into our processes? How can we get this information to our students so that they understand what type of value it's going to bring to them, so that they can see how they can utilize that in their future, career goals.
Is there anything that I didn't ask about, or anything, sometimes we have people watching these conversations. It could be a student, it could be an educator, it could be an administrator. Sometimes it's even a lawmaker. And so if there's anything I didn't ask about, or anything that you want to say to any of those constituencies or customers, as we sometimes refer at the agency, what would you say about this?
Well, I mean, I think one of the goals of CareerTech, and something that we're going to be looking at as we move forward, is making sure to show the value of the credentials that students are getting as they go through CareerTech programs. And in that, that's going to take working with other entities to see how can we make a credential more valuable? How can it be maybe portable between the different education systems, depending upon whatever path that student is choosing? And how can these things be utilized so that they're not just earning something maybe for CareerTech, but maybe it counts towards something for, secondary school, or maybe post-secondary, whatever their path may be, and how can we make industry see the value of those credentials? And so it's working with all of those entities to try to say, hey, here's what students are coming out of CareerTech systems with. Here's the value of that, and trying to get people to buy into that goal. And so that's one reason why the badging is kind of in that realm of things, is because it helps sell that message of what is that student leaving with? What are the skills that they've earned? And that way they are not having to try to sit there and regurgitate everything, because it's validated through that badging system. And so it shows these are the true things that they've earned, and it's not just something that's been put on paper.
We want to direct people to your resources in case, again, like we talked about, there's administrators, there's teachers or students watching. And if you'd like to find out more about these credentials, you can visit our website, which is oklahoma.gov/CareerTech. And you can simply go up to that search bar, put in digital badging. It'll provide a list of resources there. And to keep up with all the latest CareerTech news and events, you can give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn. Our audio podcast is also available on all the major platforms. Thank you for joining us today on CareerTech Conversations. I'm Tony Croff. Have an awesome day.